in the conversation we had through email, through a couple of us brothers speaking back and forth, that people forgot about the Baton Rouge bus boycott, which is a prelude to the Montgomery bus boycott. And that, they talk about Rosa Parks, but they don't talk about the sister who started the whole thing, who just died maybe like 5 or 6 days ago. I mean, maybe 2 weeks ago or whatever. Her name is not even mentioned, but we say we have quiet leaders, right? Then you have the sister.
Got to elevate the name though, since
right.
you brought her
Well,
up.
but see, some people are not interested in the accolades. They're interested in the accomplishments. Okay, some people are not interested in that. Some people are there to do the hard work. Like in this whole situation with the dispute going on with Juneteenth, and I'm not against Juneteenth in terms of people saying that we need to make this acknowledgement around the world that this happened. My problem is coming from a historical perspective, right? Is it accurate? And the answer to that question is no, it's not accurate. And then I presented my facts as to why. I presented my facts as to the whole issue of this philosophy about it's Freedom Day when it certainly wasn't Freedom Day. It was a day that they say that people were supposed to be free, but it really wasn't Freedom Day. So those are the things that I have a problem with. And it exposed not only mine, but the ignorance of our own history in America, our own ignorance.
Well, I don't know if it's our own ignorance. It's just the idea that
Well, ignorance is not a bad thing. Ignorance means
no,
I
I
don't know
get it.
something.
It's the lack of knowing. But I'm just
Right.
saying the idea that the active ignorance is what I was pointing at. Feel
But
me?
see, this is the thing,
But
and Terrence, I want Terrence to jump in. This is the thing I think Dow's been the problem, right? And yeah, I'm talking a lot today because I'm kind of animated about this issue. And I told one of these professors about this. Is that the problem is, right, that those scholars and those individuals who we laud today or whatever seem to be co-opted. So when a lot of these brothers come forward with information and facts about our history, we look at them kind of sideways or whatever and say, well, I really don't accept those brothers because I look at how you represent and you're really not speaking to in our issues. So I said the quote unquote accepted intelligentsia, right, which disrespects the grassroots, like me and you and stuff, and as if we have nothing to bring to the table. But without the grassroots, you can't sit up in the high ivory towers and talk theory, because what the stuff that gets done is on the ground. So Terrence,
well,
now that I ran my mouth, but go ahead.
well, firstly, they can sit in the ivory tower and talk because when, I'll use a global example to prove the point. When you are seeing a speech of an international leader and they are doing it in English, it's not for their population.
Mm.
So no different than like how Obama, when he talked differently about different people, he would talk about his uncle and his grandfather on his mom's side when he was talking to white audiences, and then he would talk about his father from Kenya when he was talking to black audiences. Like, like this is the problem that
Was
again.
Obama a leader though?
Well, in other words, like you see, but again, that's where we get into that Malcolm question of what is a leader and who is a leader. It's like, well, to some people, the Obamas are leaders.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you can't, I don't think that you can
And Terrence,
remove,
jump in when you get ready, kid.
yeah, I don't think you can remove the idea of leader just because of our feelings about him or whatever.
Well, relative to Juneteenth, I absolutely understand the historical idiosyncrasies that we talked about offline. The fact that perhaps, or not perhaps, but factually, it's not when everybody was liberated. I mean, we still fighting from a compromised position. However, I think a couple of things. I think that first of all, the hearts and minds of our people are very fragile, and that ultimately is the goal of people who want us to move us forward, is to get those hearts and minds of our people. And when everything is criticized to the nth degree, and you can't celebrate anything because of not minutia, but certainly things that are not lined up, then how do our people get encouragement to go on to the next step? If every step we
So we
take,
have to celebrate our victories, is what you're saying.
I have it written down exactly like that. Celebrate those victories. And I think that the Juneteenth celebration being a national holiday is a victory in that now we have a voice in public space. Yeah, and it's a big thing. I mean, people, nobody said Columbus never set foot on North or South America. You know what I mean? But there's parades all over the world, and they'll fight you if you say he didn't. But now we have, and so his narrative is probably more inaccurate than the Juneteenth narrative, if you want to really be truthful about it. Uh, but like I said, it's been stamped and it's been codified, and it gives those people who identify with that lineage something to pound their chests about and maybe move forward. It gives them a sense of possibility, and I think that we owe our people the ability to say, yeah, well, we got a holiday, we got Martin Luther King, and we got Juneteenth, or whatever it be. And but we know that that's not the end all, the be all. We know that people will oppress you and make minor concessions so that they can continue with major transgressions. We know that's the MO. But I don't know how hard I would be on this, and the people who conceived it and the people who furthered it, they did something. And and Karenga talks about there should be a rule that before you can say something, you should do something, and there will be silence a lot of the time. So this is their something, this is their contribution, and I think it really will meet us at the end goal of us really stepping on the stage of history and the future where we need to be.